Hello, folks. Welcome back to the program. This is Chris live in central Pennsylvania. Just got to make a couple checks on here, something before we get started. We got our special guest today. Is it actually recording? It's not recording. Good thing There we go. Almost didn't get the recording in case YouTube shuts down on us. So, welcome back to the program. I got a guest today. Some of you may know him because he was covered by the BBC. And it's none other than Charl Kleinhaus. Charl, with a name like Kleinhaus, das stimmt ein bisschen Deutsch für mich, nicht Afrikaans. No, sounds a bit German. Well, there you go. Hey, Charl, so welcome to the program. Of course, I think a lot of people recognize you because you were one of the 59ers. You came over, and then the BBC famously claimed that they had the first interview ever with Refugee, but that's a lie. I had it with Thea, but they claim it was you. But yours was the first in the U.S., and that was pretty interesting. So they interviewed you in Buffalo, New York, and I don't think that their interview was very fair. Any thoughts on that, or do you want to just not talk about that interview? Well, that's a fair point. Okay, so, one of the things with the program that's been going on is that from the outset, people said, why is it for white Afrikaner farmers? And I disputed that and said it's not. And I said it's for everyone suffering from unjust racial discrimination. They'll probably include other ethnicities. And in fact, they did do that in the program. But in fact, you are a farmer. You're a boer. And there you are And there you are. I was going to say, there you are working on a farm. So tell us a little bit about that. So what kind of farming are you doing now, and what did you do back home?
Father passed away. It was just difficult, and then I started with the mining, and it was good enough financially, but it became very dangerous to do the mining. It's on our farm, but yeah.
Okay, so you had both those things going. Sorry, some people couldn't hear you. Yeah. I had to adjust something here. So stop saying there's no sound. You people are 2 minutes behind. Catch up. There was an error on my side. Sorry about that, Charl. So anyway, welcome back to the program, folks. My guest, once again, is Charl Kleinhaus. As I said, that sounds like a bit of a German name. He said it is a German name. It didn't sound very Afrikaner to me, but of course we all know that the biggest contribution to the Afrikaans community, the Afrikaner community, is actually German. Then comes Dutch and French Huguenot. So, Charl, you were saying that you actually did do farming and mining in South Africa. Now you're farming here in the States, and that doesn't look like Buffalo to me. I don't see the Niagara Falls behind you. Did you relocate?
This is South Dakota. This is not Buffalo. I've been here for 2 months now.
Okay. Well, I think that's one of the things people are talking about because they followed and they said, well, they interviewed him in Buffalo, and everybody's like, no, he moved to South Dakota. He's not there anymore. So when you did that, I guess as far as refugee resettlement, there's a lot of services they provide. Did you risk losing that assistance? And did you know what you're doing? You just went off and staked off on your...
to me, if I move out of the state, I will lose the assistance, but I'm always welcome to come back or make contact, and I'll get my assistance back.
So
but I was fortunate enough to get this.
So you're making do without assistance from the refugee resettlement program?
Yeah, I had assistance for 8 days.
Well, let me ask you this question. I mean, now, did you guys have to get your tent from Cabela's or from Bass Pro Shops, your FEMA tent? How's that FEMA tent?
No, we had to sleep outside under the tree.
Oh my goodness! No,
we were put in a nice hotel. Everything was provided. Everything done. They checked up on us every second day phoned us regularly.
That's awesome.
Started with the process of social security, all of that. But I didn't complete it there, so I left for South Dakota before they could get anything done.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, did you have an idea that's what you're going to do? I mean, because you didn't get to pick Buffalo, New York. I don't imagine that would have been your first choice.
No, it wasn't my pick, no. It was quite surprised when I went to Buffalo. I thought I'll go to Montana or Texas or something where there is farming because I asked for farming. But it didn't happen like that.
They sent you to Buffalo, New York. Look, you weren't there very long, but did you? I mean, I know you probably had a lot going on, but any chance you got to go look at the falls before you left?
Unfortunately not. No, I didn't have time to go. My daughter went there. And my son, yeah, but I didn't go.
Okay, but they got to see it at least.
They got to see it, yeah.
Okay, because it's pretty incredible. I mean, especially from the Canadian side, it's something else. All right, so...
they said from the Canadian side, it's better to see it than from the U.S. side.
Oh, it's much better, especially... I mean, I'll tell you...
Probably the day they went, so you couldn't see much.
Well, the best view, I'll tell you, is from the Hilton Hotel. If you get an upper level room, it's just, you look right out on top of it. It's amazing. I had, because a lot of visits in Hilton had some points, and they put me up in a really nice room when I was there a few years ago. It was really nice. So you didn't stay there very long. Did you, so what happened? Let me ask you this question, because, we've been told, Charl, that America is going to be unfriendly to the refugees coming over from South Africa, and they're going to live in FEMA tents, and there's no jobs, and oh my gosh, and lions and tigers and bears, oh my, it's horrible. But let me get this straight. You can correct anything I got wrong, but let's see. You came over, they resettled you in Buffalo, New York, which is not where you wanted to be. So you started looking for employment. You must have found it. And then you just hit the road, Jack, and now you're working. Is that kind of what happened?
Well, I was very fortunate. The lady from South Africa worked on this farm. And she put me in contact with a lady called Sally Hepburn. And that lady phoned me, got everything arranged for me, spoke to the agency, spoke to the farmer, made sure everything is all right. And then he bought me plane tickets, and we came to South Dakota. It was quite a stressful thing to do, just to leave everything that's been planned for you and come here. But I had some people I can speak to here, and the people here are very, very friendly. I was quite surprised how friendly and accommodating American people are, and helpful. They're super helpful. Here in this community, the people invite you to birthday parties, to dances, to their homes. It's amazing, actually. I didn't have much to do with city people, but the city people was nice to me. I didn't have problems with them. And here, the farming community is amazing.
Well, you say Americans are very friendly and inviting, and you talk about inviting you to dances. Yeah. I have to ask on behalf of Kurt Darren, is there any Cowfoot Silky involved?
What?
Is there any Cowfoot Silky?
No, we wear shoes, huh? It's not that primitive.
Anyway, but seriously, okay, so you're kind of like the Trek Boers, Charl. When you think about it, you didn't have a wagon and oxen, but you relocated somewhere, and it's not where you thought you wanted to be, and so you took a risk, and it's paying off.
Yeah, I did. Now, I ended up with an amazing family this side, amazing farmer. The farmers here work. I've not seen any farm owner work like American farmers. Not all of the farmers I've met here, they really, really work hard.
Well, I can attest to that, because
the machines until 10, 11 o'clock at night. Early in the morning they start. There's no hands here that you whistle to come sweep the floors or wash the tractor or do this or run the tractor or put diesel. We do it all ourselves, and the farmer does it all himself.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
You see how hard they work. They make you feel like you must do more.
Well, I was a dairy farmer. I milk cows at 5 o'clock every morning and 5:30 every night, and there's no vacations there, no holidays, 365 days a year.
You milk it yourself.
You milk yourself. That's right. You clean everything yourself. You take care of the animals. You clean out the stalls. You make sure they got grain. You plant the stuff. You bale the hay. Yeah, you work long days. Farming is not an easy life, but it's for me, Charl, and let me get your take on this. This is not South African American, but for me, farming was honest work. It was hard work, and I felt good about what I was doing.
Yeah, you do. You feel like you're giving a part to the country, at least contributing to the U.S. And the work is hard, but it's a satisfying job. And the lifestyle is very, very calm. You work hard and then you rest just as nice.
Well, so that kind of raised another question. You talk about the lifestyle. So the razor wire and the walls built around the home where you live, there in South Dakota, did that surprise you? All the walls and razor wire, were you prepared for that security situation?
I wasn't prepared to sleep with doors without locks. There's no locks here, no security gate. We had the tractor one day at the one field here, and I left it there with the disc on. And I went back the next morning, and the tractor is missing. Yeah, and I freaked out, and I phoned the farmer, and I said, hey, I think your tractor is stolen. Because they say, leave the skis inside, just don't worry. And he just laughed at me, and he said, no, my son came to fetch the tractor. And nobody steals tractors here. And it was, whoa, amazing.
Well, that's interesting, because now I have a better feel for you. You're not really in South Dakota. Apparently, you can sleep with your windows open, your doors unlocked. You must be on Johann Rupert's estate in the Western Cape.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. I'm a caddy on after hours. I carry golf sticks around for him.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. I couldn't resist that, because he said that in the Oval Office. But so it's summertime, so your kids aren't in school. I don't know your kids' ages. Can you share that with us?
My little grandson is 7. He's going to second grade now. But school is starting now in August only. He's enrolled here in, let me say, Yankton, where I am.
Yep.
He's enrolled in the elementary school, starting there. Very excited. He's made friends already. There's a swimming pool here, water park thing, where he goes and plays with people from the church. He loves that. He's made some friends already, like I've said, and excited about school. But the school is different. Our school standards are much lower than yours, much lower. The maths, they learn directions, north, west, south, east, everything like that. We didn't learn that in second grade.
Well, it's not just the standards are different. It's also our whole school system, the way it's set up, because America was a rural agricultural nation. And as we spread across the country, we needed labor in the summertime to bale the hay, to do the farm work and put the fence posts in and things like that when there wasn't 3 feet of snow outside. And so our kids were the labor. And that's why we have big families, and then we put the kids to work, child labor. And so our school system developed that you're out of school from June until August or September, late August, September. And so that's the deal. So that's going to be a little adjustment. So your grandson's already enrolled in school, pretty excited about things. What about the pace of life? I mean, South Dakota is not exactly Manhattan or San Francisco. What's it like? Is it your pace?
Yeah, it's very relaxed here. Very relaxed pace. People do their stuff, but when it comes to work, you must do your work, get it done. Then there's no relaxed pace. Work must be done. Grass, alfalfa must be cut, must be raked, must be baled. The fields must be disked, must be planted in time. It's about now a month and a half ago that we finished with the planting. So now it's coming harvest season. It's going to be coming in end of August, and we start harvesting. And it's going to be crazy busy until end of September, and then it's quieter again. Then winter comes. A winter I've never seen in my life. I've been warned, but I've never seen it. I'll see it.
Get ready. Those puffer jackets from K-Way won't keep you warm.
And the farmer gave us a whole bunch of warm clothes, very, very warm clothes. He said, you're going to need it. And I said, okay, let's see. But I know it is. Because they say it gets minus 30 here for a week or so. So it's cold. That's very, very cold.
But that's minus 30 Fahrenheit, not Celsius, correct?
Yeah, it's close. If you I checked on Google, Fahrenheit and Celsius is the same when it goes to the minuses. It's about the same.
At a certain point, they do level out, but minus 30 is minus 30. It's cold. It's cold. And that's before you factor in the wind.
Yes. As you can see, I'm sweated today. It's humid, hot here, 91 degrees Fahrenheit, about 30, 31, and it's humid.
Yeah, that's a challenge. It's not usually that humid up north, but I guess that's what's going on this summer. Usually you get that down south in the U.S. and in the southeastern part of the country. You get out to the mountain states in the Midwest, you get humidity, but it isn't usually that bad. So I guess it's warm out there this summer. So what are some of the challenges? You know, okay, obviously you staked out on your own. You did something that most people aren't doing. You know, they set you up for success, and you're like, no, I got a better plan here. It's going to work out for me. So how is life going without the refugee assistance? I mean, it seems like you're adapting very well.
Oh, very well. The family that I went to, the farmer here and his family and everybody is super, super nice.
Well, that's awesome.
His kids are nice. Everybody helps out. They gave us a lot of advice, and everything is just perfectly.
So I've got to digress for a second here, because I heard you mention something earlier, and I'm not trying to start a fight here. I actually want to do a compliment, if I heard correctly. But a few weeks ago, I was attacked by someone who lied about me in a Facebook group that's closed, and then people sent me screenshots of it, so I discovered it. And I didn't. And the person said that I've been lying about the refugee program all along. Everything I said is a lie. And that person was Shelley Hepburn. I assume that's the same Shelley Hepburn that helped you locate that farm.
Yeah, she helped me. Yeah.
Well, I have to say thank you to Miss Hepburn for helping you. And I'll leave the other story there. We won't go into that, but that's kind of her to have done that. So she's the lady that has been helping people with asylum cases, but apparently she helped you find employment. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. And she even found the agency where I was, sorted out the stuff for me to get over here. Spoke to the farmer, and the farmer arranged for me to get to his place, and we got here.
Well, that's pretty awesome. So my kudos out to Ms. Hepburn for that, and then we'll leave the rest of it off the table, but that's pretty awesome. It's great when people reach out and help. So let me ask you this question. You don't have to mention anybody, but I know some people are staying in touch, but people seem to be going quiet now, the 59ers. Are people chatting? Are you guys still in touch, some of you? Are you hearing from people, or are you just...
We have a WhatsApp group that we speak to each other now and then to find out what's okay, what's going on, but that's about it.
Okay, well,
it's quieted down a lot. I must say that. The last 3 weeks, it's been quiet a lot.
And that's been my experience. And a couple people I was in contact with had never gotten a U.S. number, or they hadn't shared it, and now I'm not in contact with them. That's why I asked. I wonder if they're still on there. So anyway, but that's something we could discuss offline. I'm just curious because, yeah, I sent this message out to folks about the media still pestering me about getting in touch with people, the Daily Maverick, CNN, other folks. I think I sent you that message. Okay, so what has been the biggest challenge? It could be arriving in Buffalo, something there, or it can be what you're doing now on that farm. What's been the biggest challenge adapting to life here in America? I mean, I know, I apologize.
I'm not saying the biggest thing is here you work. There's no kitchen lady you call to sweep out the house or clean the house or stuff like that. You do the work yourself. So excuse me. Other than that, the life here is super nice. It's a quality of life that we don't get that side. It's a relaxed life. The work is hard. You don't relax when it's working time, but after that, things are people are very friendly. People are open, invitingly. You to come to their houses. I've been to people's houses here, so no. I must say, I was very relaxed after the first 2 weeks here. Stressed about working hard, which now I'm getting used to, but the life here is it's a different standard of life that you're getting.
Well, it's interesting.
That's for sure.
It's interesting because, a lot of people are always commenting about me, like, Colonel, when do you sleep? When do you sleep? You're always working. You're always working. Well,
yeah, you guys work.
I'm an American.
I take my hat off to all Americans. You guys work. You don't play. Well, you play hard, but you work super much harder.
That's for sure. And it's like when I was stationed in embassies overseas, a lot of Americans have fallen into the habit of hiring domestics, and I was forced on occasion to get a gardener just because I was given properties that had big yards and I couldn't possibly maintain that and do my job 16 hours a day. But I mean, I didn't have a housekeeper or cook. That's not my cup of tea. So a lot of places in Africa, I would have other embassy employees, and they kind of look down their nose like, "What's wrong with you? Why don't you have domestics?" I'm like, because I grew up in a farm, and I clean up after myself. I don't need somebody to clean up after me. So apparently that's the message you're getting across here, is that you work hard, you're not going to have that sort of thing. It's interesting because when the refugee thing started, that was one of the arguments that some of the people on the far right in South Africa said, you're going to suffer there. Life won't be as good because you're going to have to do all the work yourself. But Charl, it looks to me like you don't mind doing all the work yourself.
No, I don't mind. Your washing your clothes don't disappear. Things at your house don't disappear. Your sugar doesn't go away. Your coffee doesn't go away. And then if you tell somebody they're stealing your stuff, then you're a racist. No, here you blame yourself if something is missing. It's perfect. I prefer it like this. Thank you.
It's funny you should say that, because I would work in embassies like in Uganda and other places, and these people who look down their nose at me because I wasn't hiring locals, then a few months go by and they're like, no, they broke my vanity. Someone stole this. I'm like, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Now, folks, that's not to imply that all domestic workers are thieves or bad people. We're not saying that, but many people have had that experience. Anyway, so yeah. All right, so you've adapted very well. Getting your Social Security number, that must have gone very quickly.
Yeah, it went. After I applied, it was 10 days, 10 right. Working days.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I did it Friday, and 2 Fridays after that, I received my card in the mail.
So how long did you spend in Buffalo?
I got my learner's driver's license, because you don't accept our driver's licenses. I got a new learner's now. I failed it the first time.
Did you fail the written?
Yeah, the written test. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I'd be more concerned if you failed the practical driving test. That would frighten me.
No. The farmer checks on me with the driving, but the written test, I didn't make it the first time. Second time I made it.
Okay. Well, Charl, let me ask you this question. You talk about how calm and peaceful it is. Now that you're correct, you're finally driving on the correct side of the road. What's that like?
Yeah, I've done a mistake a few times and driven on the wrong side, yeah.
Okay, I'm not coming to South Dakota.
The first month I got into the wrong side of the car a few times.
Yeah, that happens. And then you've always got with the windscreen wipers and with the turn indicators. But that happens everywhere.
The here by your steering wheel. The shifter here by your steering wheel. That's something different.
Okay, well that's not normal. That's unusual. Usually it's in the center console. That's unusual being in the center, unless it's an automatic. Then it might be up there. But
yeah, it's automatic trucks that we're using.
Oh, okay. There you go. That's
pickups,
yeah. When I was on the farm, we had Chevy pickup trucks that had 3 on the tree. They were 3 speeds. Can you imagine that? 3 on the tree in the reverse. There were 4 gears, and then my SUV, it's in the center console, so that's where you shift at. But yeah. So it looks like you're adjusting well. How about the family? I mean, everybody comfortable? Everybody happy? I mean, they enjoying it?
Everybody's happy. My daughter's happy. My son is happy. I'm happy. So that's great.
All right. Did the farmer give you any snow shovels, or the place you're living give you any snow shovels? Because you might want to go to Home Depot and get a couple
Yeah,
snow
we
shovels.
have snow shovel. So we said to us, when the time comes, we will shovel the snow.
The time is coming, brother. The time is coming.
Yeah.
That's going to be, I think that'll probably be the big shock. I mean, you know it's coming. You're expecting it, but it's
Yeah.
going to be cold. In the upper Midwest, it gets really, really cold up there. But it's such a lovely area. It's just beautiful.
It is beautiful, yeah. Very beautiful. Very flat. Very, very
Well,
flat.
I was going to say, does it remind you of like
the farming is perfect. It's what you want for your fields. It must be flat.
Well, what I was going to say,
It's like our Free State. Looks like the Free State, yeah. It's much greener.
You've stolen my thunder. I was going to say it's just like the Free State, except it's greener. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's so the prairie is like that. It's kind of like that. So yeah. So have you been able to do anything other than adjust to life, get a job, work your tail off, farming? Have you gone out to movies or gone shopping malls or done anything social?
We've done lots of shopping.
Okay.
Lots and lots of shopping. We went to church a whole bunch of times. We've gone with the farmer to like a family birthday party, a dance. We've gone out with him. My kids went for the fireworks show. I stayed with my grandson because he didn't want to go out. So yeah, no. We're getting a nice social life and a nice life. And we're here only for 2 months now, so there's still lots that can happen and that we can do and go see and everything. I'm not in a hurry. I'm planning very long term to stay here.
So, you do speak English, and you speak it very well. I mean, but many South Africans do speak English, even though it's not their first language. But we don't speak English here. We speak American. Have you run into any odd circumstances where you were...
I tried to ask a few times to repeat something because I couldn't understand perfectly.
Yeah.
Some of the words are a bit different, but we've watched enough American movies to know about what you guys are saying. So that's the English we know from the movies.
Fair enough. So it's not that big a shock, but I know for some people it's going to be a bit of a shock here. So, a lot of people, they constantly try to compare things, they're like, okay, because a lot of the aspiring refugees that want to come over and join you guys over here are back in South, they're going, oh my gosh, it's so expensive there. It's so expensive. But in most cases, you're making a heck of a lot more money, even though things are more expensive. So, you really can't compare apples to oranges. But let me ask this question without asking your income. Are you able to live comfortably on what you're doing after being here just 2 months?
Yeah, very comfortably. Very, very comfortable.
Okay.
When you get here in the beginning and you have rands here, you will go through it very fast. But when you start working and you earn dollars, it becomes much easier. And then something that's $50 or something doesn't feel that much anymore because you're earning dollars. So it's coming to feel like 50 rand. You're spending 50 rand or something.
All right. Well, given that you're comfortable, I was thinking about coming up there, but then I remembered that you failed your driver's test, so I'm not coming to South Dakota.
You must come.
No, it's been a while since I've been up there. I used to live in Iowa. I taught at Iowa State University, and the east side of the state of South Dakota is pretty close. I went up to get my in not Rapid City, that's the other side, but to get my Sioux City. Is it Sioux City? Yeah, Sioux City. To get my Gateway computer when they used to have Gateway computers there. I went to the factory and bought one there. So it's been a while, but most of my time in South Dakota, I drive across I-90 to try to get out to the west end of the state, out near Ellsworth Air Force Base and all those places out in that end of the state. It's quite lovely out that side. Yeah. So what's next? I mean, you just keep working and the kids off to school?
I want to keep working, get better at the farming. I still have a lot to learn, get better at it, do better, and then do more.
Well,
But I'll be staying on the farm for as long as I physically can. I'll stay on this farm.
So are you living on that farm?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So
the farm gave us a beautiful house to stay in, fully furnished. Everything is there that we need. There's nothing that we don't have, but that's a necessity. And even the luxuries, we've got everything.
Well, that's pretty awesome. So
yeah,
I lost my train of thought there. I was going to ask you something very specific, and it just slipped right out of my head. So you're on the farm, and that's what I want to ask you. What about farming? I mean, what is different there other than the fact that the farmers work their tail off? We've already covered that. They work very hard. Yeah, but is there anything different? I mean, are the farming methods that they're employing there much different than what you did back in South Africa?
No, the farming methods are the same. It's not that much. There's no difference between that. It's just the farm owner himself works harder than any worker on the farm. That's a major thing for me that I saw.
Yeah, people really
do. The farm owner, not the farm manager, not a farm hand, the farm owner, the big boss. He works the hardest.
That's pretty awesome. It sounds like the farm owner is pretty happy with the work you're doing with your presence there. I mean, he paid for you guys to come out there and you got settled in and you're working and you've been there 2 months and you haven't been sacked yet.
No, I don't think.
So, okay, we covered some of the challenges, but it sounds like it was a pretty smooth transition for you. But I mean, what drove you to get out of South Africa? Was there any precipitating event, or was just the way?
My aunt was shot. My uncle was shot and killed. My neighbor was killed. I had death threats. I reported to the police. Then a month later, I'll get an SMS and say the case was thrown out. And I left it because I had problems with the EFF party, particularly with their members. And I was friends with some of the ANC people, and they tried to do it, but our security guards got chased off the farm. One was murdered. So it became super risky, and I can't leave my children to take on that risk. I grew up with that risk, and I know about it, and I'm used to it a little bit. But my children is not used to that, the way they are, and the way they treat you, and the way they talk to you, and you get death threats, and they must just give us almost like ignore it. And we had to go two armed on the farm the whole time. We can't go alone. You have to watch out for an ambush. It was not fun anymore. It was not like it's fun, but that was too much risk for me. But my life is more important. I'd rather work for somebody than have a mine and being shot in a few years' time, because it will happen, definitely.
It sounds like the pace of what's happening is actually that the tension has gotten worse over the past decade or so. Is that a fair assessment, at least from your experience?
No, definitely. From this Malema guy started, him screaming his chants and everything like that, it's gotten much worse. I must say, in the 90s and early 2000s, South Africa was there was still hope for it. And we all thought, okay, it's going to be a 50-50, we'll work together, do it together. And it all changed. And then it became, and they started pointing fingers at us, telling us we stole the land. We didn't steal the land. My grandfather was in our farms 1815. His grave is there from 1875. There was no blacks in the area. They had to go find black people to come work on the farm. The children did the work on the farm. So now they're coming up and telling, no, the land was stolen. That's nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had a thing in the area which I am is Mpumalanga. And the Swazi King Mswati, even brought out an article and said the land in Mpumalanga was lawfully bought from his grandfather. It was not stolen. But still, they will continue with their nonsense.
Well, absolutely, and I agree. It's nonsense. The whole nonsense about land. You know, people can play these games forever, going back and forth. But there was a very pragmatic decision taken at the Convention for Democratic South Africa that took place in the early 1990s, before you had the elections in '94. And at CODESA, the decision was taken that no land claims would be considered before 1910, because that's when the Union of South Africa Act came into play. You combine the Orange Free State with the South African Republic of Transvaal and British Cape Colony and the Natal Colony, merged them plus African kingdoms into the Union of South Africa. And so they said that's the date you can make land claims from. That seemed reasonable, yeah. But that's being reneged on now.
No, we had land claims on our property. The land claims was dismissed or wasn't approved. We had land claims again in 2014 on the same land, just different people. How can you explain that? It's ridiculous.
And you have to hire attorneys and spend your hard-earned money to pay for that, to defend yourself.
The same thing with I have this group of the EFF coming into my farm. They will put up a grave on the weekend when I'm not there. They'll put up a tombstone. And I'll take a photo and I'll report it to the police, phone the police to come look at it. And the police will say to me, go to court. Then you go to court and they don't arrive at court. You pay the lawyer the fee that he's charging for the day, and you get an extended date. It will happen for 2 years' time, and then after you spend 300,000 rand, nothing has happened. It becomes worthless to go to court.
Well, Charl, I have to say that I'm really glad that we were having this chance to chat, because your previous interviews where the media covered your conversations, it never went into this kind of depth of the sort of nonsense that was happening to you and your family. And Mpumalanga is really a hot spot. I've seen far too many farmers and single women on farms being murdered up there. It's really frightening. I just recently had a friend of mine's mother and mother-in-law were assaulted in Brits, and then he died from the injuries. They were 70-plus-year-old man. It was restrained in his wheelchair, just had a hip operation, and they beat him within an inch of his life, left him there, and they finally broke free hours later, and then he died of the wounds in hospital. And, of course, the cover-up from the police, I have a copy of the police report that was filed by SAPS. It says house robbery. It doesn't say...
Yeah, they did that. They don't say farm attack or farm murder. It will be a house robbery. But that's always what they do.
But even if you don't have a category of a farm murder, if you don't have that, you still have trespassing, home invasion, breaking and entering, assault and battery, attempted murder. All these things happen, and none of those are on the police report. This just shows you just what a cover-up this is.
Yeah, you can't go. There's no more trespassing for them. If they're on your land, you can't do anything. If you shoot their dogs on your farm, they will make a case against you. One of the farmers was arrested for shooting dogs and was chasing his cattle. The guys just went and said they used the K word and they were shooting at them. And he wasn't shooting at them, he's shooting their dogs. And he ended up in jail.
And I doubt he even used the K word.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
That is the easiest way just to get yourself. When you have a problem with one of them, they'll just say that. You use that word. Then the whole thing swings around. You are the one to blame. There's no looking at anything else. They're just straight looking just at that one big word that has now been said.
It's really a tragedy to see what's going on here, and the world has looked the other way. Now, I've been reporting this inside the intelligence community for decades to my government, and then since I retired from the military, I've been reporting publicly about what's going on. But so many people around the world just want to turn a blind eye until recently and think that it's all April 27th, 1994, and 10-hour queues to vote for the first time in Kumbaya, and Rainbow Nation.
We are blessed with President Trump. Very blessed to have President Trump that was acknowledging this and stating it to the whole world. Even what they said about him is wrong and stuff. He's still stuck by what he said, and it came out to be true. And I believe he's got enough intelligence to know exactly what's going on there. People think he doesn't know, he's guessing, but he's not guessing. He knows what's going on.
Oh, I know he knows what's going on. That's, the whole thing was funny, Charl, when the beginning they tried to say, he's just misinformed. He doesn't know. And like, it's all Elon Musk's fault. It's only because Elon Musk. And they completely ignore the fact that last year.
It has nothing to do with Elon Musk. Well, Elon Musk was here for 20 years now. He never tried to get us there in America. When President Trump came in for his second term, he started that. Exactly. It's all because of President Trump, nobody else.
That's exactly right. And that's what I said.
Yes, Elon Musk is a South African, and that was a coincidence. So that's all.
Yeah, somebody said maybe I can make a video explaining why we're mostly German and not Dutch. We're not mostly German. You're more German than you are other things. The average Afrikaner. Some Afrikaners are more Dutch than they are German. But if you take,
a lot of Dutchmen there.
Yeah, but if you take the aggregate, the average Afrikaner has more German DNA than follow. Anyway, so that's going on the conversation in the chat over here, which you can't see. So I just thought I'd share that very quickly. Do you have an ultimate goal down here? Not to get you in trouble with your employer, but do you envision, maybe one day, build
I want to start a business here some other time, in a few years' time or so, or later on. I want to start a business here.
Okay.
I'll keep working on the farm for the security and everything to have that, but I'll work with the farmer because he's from here and he knows the way things go here. I'll do something with him. I probably will import minerals from our side, granite or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what yet. I saw your business for biltong, but that's everybody's going to do that.
Everybody's going to do it.
Well, that's a little bit more difficult.
I have another idea. I have a lot of aspiring car guards. Maybe you could start a car guard company.
They'll just laugh at you if you try to be a car guard here. Try to get the people to lock their cars first.
Yeah, well, exactly. What do you need a car guard for? With people. So I think it was Earl when I interviewed Earl. He said he went to the ice cream shop. They came out with the kids, and there was a car outside with the windows down, the keys in, and the engine running. Someone just walked away and left their car in the streets of Birmingham. Yeah. Now, I mean, look, not everywhere in America is like that. You got places like Southeast Philly.
Yeah. You'll get your areas.
Yeah.
But you will see everybody's locking their doors. Yeah, you can see everybody's not locking the doors.
So let me ask you this question, because you're in the Northern Hemisphere and you're kind of high north. So did it catch you off guard, the sun not going down at 6 or 7, and the sun going down so late in the evening?
No, the sun goes down at 9 p.m. That is quite something to get used to. 9:30 at night.
Yeah.
And it comes out at 6 o'clock. The sun is up, so you've got a long, long day, 15-hour day here.
Yeah. When I first arrived in Germany in 1984 as a young soldier, of course, Germany is an even higher latitude than the United States, even higher than where you're at in South Dakota. And it just stays warm because the Gulf Stream keeps coming up from the Caribbean, goes across the Atlantic, keeps Europe warm, relatively speaking. Anyway, so I got there in June, and I asked the sergeant, I said, can I leave the post, the concern, and go outside? Yeah. Just be here at 5:45 in the morning for PT, physical training. I'm like, okay. So I walked out the gate. I'm wandering around town, looking around, discovering Germany. This is cool. Went in a restaurant, bought a beer and had a schnitzel and walked outside. And I looked at my watch. It was 10:30 and the sun was still up. I'm like, what the heck? Yep.
Yep. Yes, the same.
Kind of catches you off guard.
The farmers' kids will go to school when they're in school. They'll come back from school. They'll work until 10, 11 at night. Children.
Yeah.
That's how these guys don't fool around there.
No, they don't. So I mean,
I was too lazy to do that when I was 18 and 17 years old. I wouldn't have done that. But they do.
I definitely did that when I was a kid. Yeah. There's no coincidence here, Charl, that I'm a retired intelligence officer and a journalist and not a farmer today.
Yes.
It's honorable work, but you really got, that's what always puzzled me in Southern Africa, military guys and government officials like in Botswana and South Africa, they're always talking about when they retire, they're going to go to the cattle posts, they're going to raise cattle. I'm like, why? Why do you want to do that when you're 65? You can do that when you're 35, not 65.
I also had that mental idea in my head that this is the retirement job, but this is not a retirement job. You work here.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I think that's a point that should come across very clearly to everybody watching this stream tonight is that you earn your way in America.
Yeah, you do.
All right.
And if you work hard, the advantages for you is amazing. The money you earn is amazing. The lifestyle you can live here, it's a super quality lifestyle. When you look at stuff that's way expensive when you work it back, and it works out fine here.
Yeah, so someone asked in the chat, do his children work? I don't know. Do you have adult children there? You mentioned grandchild. I don't know if the grandchildren...
Yes, my son is 24. He also works on the farm.
Okay.
My daughter is 26 now in August. She helps out a bit on the farm, but she's busy with my grandson mostly.
Okay,
she does some admin and stuff here on the farm, and yeah.
That's her son?
Yeah, it's her son, yeah.
Okay, and she's a Boermeisie?
Yep.
All right, just checking. Oh my goodness! So I mean, look, there's okay. This all sounds very rosy, but there's got to be some challenges here. Some things are frustrating. You got your Social Security number. You got over here. You managed to get a job. This lady, Miss Hepburn, helped you get a job. That's gratitude to her. You get up there. You guys are working hard. You're happy with where you're living. Did you have any trouble getting bank accounts? You probably haven't been able to get credit cards yet because you don't have a credit history, right?
I got the credit card 2 days ago.
Wow! Congratulations.
Yeah. I won't use the credit because the interest rates are high, but I haven't. My credit score for later when I want to finance a vehicle or something, that's good.
So, Charl, let me help you out with this, okay? Because unless you're paying utilities, you're not building a credit rating, okay? You're not paying a mortgage. Yeah. You're not paying a car payment. So this is what you need to do, okay? Just little advice. The credit card. Make sure you know the payment date. Make sure you're set up online or you can get to the bank to pay. Because you get a 21-day grace period normally at these things before you have to pay interest. Okay. Use the credit card for a couple small purchases each month. All right. Okay. And then pay it off in full. All right. So it's basically $20, $30, $40. Maybe put a little petrol in there. Just use it because if you don't use it, you're not using the credit and you're not, because that's part of your credit score is use the credit. It's counterintuitive. You're thinking that, well, I have the credit card, I'm not using it. That means I'm in good standing. Yes, you are, but you have to have a credit history. So let me give an example here of something that can hurt your credit score. It didn't hurt me, but it came back quickly. So I made a loan with the bank to buy my house, which belongs to the bank, not me. I have to pay them every month to live in this place. So anyway, so I made a loan, and after several years, my bank sold the promissory note, the loan, to another company. When they did that, when that transaction occurred, my loan was still in effect. I didn't get a free period, a grace period. But on my credit score, they wiped out my loan. And my credit score dropped by 50 points overnight because I was no longer in debt to $200,000+. But a few weeks later, that paperwork caught up, that debt was back on there because how much debt you have is part of your credit score. So I'm not saying build debt, but I'm just saying, but if you use your credit card wisely and make some small purchases, that'll build a credit history. I'm not just telling this to you advice for Charl, but that's also for the audience listening who come over. Yeah, so everybody. So, I mean, but the key thing is use your credit card smartly. I carry 14 cards. I make no interest payments. I pay them off every month in full. I don't spend money unless I know I can pay for it in the next pay period or I have the money in the bank. So if you do that, you'll get your credit much quicker. And here's the other piece, Charl. You'll quickly discover that good or bad, your credit score is who you are. And what I mean by that is that when you go into the bank, if you have an 850 credit score, which is the top end, which very few people have, if the prime lending rate is 6%, you might get it for 2.75 or 3%, whereas everybody else is going to pay.
For purchasing cars and stuff, your interest rates are low.
No, they're actually quite high right now. You're just not accustomed to these rates. These are quite high.
No, we don't I know. 12% is very low. 10 to 12. That's low.
Compared to South Africa. But my mortgage rate is 3.75%.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and my car loan, the last time I took a car loan was just to maintain that credit history. It was 1.75%. Yeah. So what I'm getting at here is start building that credit, and that's one way to do it. Okay, and that'll help you because your credit score is based on debts and liabilities and balance of how much money and income and all that. So it all plays a role. So if you charge a little bit on the card and pay it off every month, it'll work for you. Credit cards, lesson for everybody, a finance lesson here. Credit cards, to me, are for emergency purchases, a car breakdown, mechanical failure, an unexpected expense. And if you have to go on holiday, you don't want to carry a bunch of cash. That's what you use credit cards for. You can also use them if you pay utilities to pay off your utilities every month, and you can even set up for automatic so that it builds your credit. But anyway, enough of the credit stuff. I just want to cover. But you got a credit card already. You got a credit card. You got bank accounts. You got Social Security numbers. You're driving on the wrong side of the road.
I'll go hunting next month.
Are you serious? Are you serious? You're going hunting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go hunting for some white-tailed deer.
Okay. Now, not to be too personal, but with your own firearms, or is someone sharing their firearms?
I'll be buying a firearm in August now. Then I'm here for 90 days. It's the rules of South Dakota. You must be a resident for 90 days, and you can buy a firearm.
Oh, no, but I heard refugees weren't allowed to have guns. That's what I was told. What kind of nonsense is this?
You cannot go to the army quickly, but my son applied, but he's on the list. But that's it. Now you've got a lot of advantages as a refugee, a lot more than just a normal immigrant. I must say that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot better, and it's a lot cheaper than trying to do asylum, and a much surer bet, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I spoke to somebody yesterday. They've been in asylum for a few years now, and their stuff hasn't been completed. So asylum is a stressful thing, I think. For me, it will be super stressful.
Yeah, it would be stressful for me too, never knowing and waiting. And it all hinges on some person who's appointed to a position, who's making a decision. You're walking in and an adversarial going, you have to prove your case. So let me just go back just a little bit before we've got a little bit of time left here. Let's go back to the process. So how did it go for you? Because a number of the 59ers went to the PRA memo, either on their own or after I mentioned it, and they sent it in, and that's what you must have done. And so how did you find about the PRA email? How did you discover all this, and what happened? If you could share just a bit.
I watched your show.
Are you serious?
I watched your show, yeah. And I saw the email address because you posted in the beginning. And I sent an email, and I was replied to, and I went for the interview. And 2 weeks later, I got in the second interview, and the third interview also, medical checks.
Wow.
And within 2 weeks after that, they said to me, "You're going."
Wow.
And I thought it's the act of God, because to be in the first 59, it's not something that just it's in your hands. It's not in my hands. It wasn't in my hands.
Wow, that's incredible. Listen, I've got to start a program here. I know that Jacob Zuma, as the head of the MK party, apparently gets a kickback from all the MPs that are in Parliament from the MK members. So I'm going to start demanding my kickback from all the refugees who get to America based on my advice. and then Charl, when I come visit in South Dakota, I'll come in my private jet.
Oh, please, I'll wash it for you.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. Oh my goodness. Yeah, wow. It's it's awesome. I didn't know that, folks. Charl and I have only chatted on text. We've never had a conversation, and literally I turned the stream on like 2 minutes before we started live. So that was not staged. That was actually a real question. So, Charl, how did you find my channel? Was it a recent thing, or have you seen me in the past?
No, I've seen you in the past, and I follow you on YouTube. And when I saw you making lots of videos, I started checking them, and then you dropped those email addresses, prm@info. And I emailed immediately because I was following all your videos the whole time since President Trump announced it and everything. I was.
Okay, cool.
I think you were the only one talking about it on the whole of YouTube in the beginning. I don't think there was anybody else. There's that other lawyer, Professor G.
Professor G. He's he's in the chat right now. I believe someone's talking to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also gives nice advice and stuff. People must just listen to you guys' advice. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. The nice thing I like about Professor G is it's very calm. He's very, whereas
He's learning Afrikaans. It's quite funny for me to hear him speak Afrikaans. He speaks it well now.
Okay, so let me just, without insulting Professor G, because that's not the intent here, because I encourage people to speak languages. I speak 6 languages, but when Professor G first started speaking, it hurt my ears to hear the Afrikaans. now Ronaldo will laugh at me because he gives me a hard time for my G's, but and that's why I call him Ronaldo Goes instead of Ronaldo Goes. But anyway, no, but Professor G, when he pronounced Afrikaans, like, oh, that's harsh. But I had to respect his effort to do it, and his proficiency is really.
Sounds like a local Englishman from South Africa now speaking Afrikaans. He speaks it well.
Yeah, no, I could see that. No, but he's doing very well. He's really doing very well.
Yeah.
And but there it's but I think the big problem, Charl, too, is for people in South Africa now. A lot of people still don't know about this program because of the fake media, the lies. I mean, again today, Newsroom Africa just spewing nonsense about sanctions that's not even true. Never mind the refugee program, and people are still. I got a text message, a screenshot from one of my viewers the other day. Their neighbor down in Margate, that area. They said something about going to the refugee program. They said they live in town. You can't do that. You're not a farmer. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's not for farmers only. It's for minorities, all minorities.
Yep.
I think half of the people that came in with me wasn't farmers.
So Professor G just responded, says, don't you dare attack my Afrikaans. I'm putting my Afrikaans teacher's kids through college with the amount I'm paying him.
I'm not attacking him. I'm complimenting him.
Well, he's talking about me. He's talking about me, not you. No, what I was going to say is that the part of the problem here, Professor G, is that your proficiency would pick up markedly if your Afrikaans teacher, your leraar, wasn't a dude and was a boermeisie. I'm just saying. Man. And anyway. Anyway, well, Charl, that's very, very heartwarming for me to hear that you actually would listen to my channel. I mean, not that anyone had to, but it's really awesome. Again, I from the outside, I've never encouraged anybody to leave. I've never encouraged anybody to stay. It's not my place to do that. But as I said, every time I talk about this, I cannot put myself in your shoes. I can empathize. I can understand. I've been there. I understand it. I know what's going on. But I'm not the person that hears a noise at 1 o'clock in the morning and jumps up looking for my firearm, waiting for somebody to come in and attack. Yeah, that's something you all have gone through. I mean, I've done that in combat, but you expect it in combat, and it's also not for life. This is for life. And in combat, you're not at home. You're elsewhere. Yeah. But when that happens at home, that's got to be a very debilitating thing. You know, Charl, I tell people, let me ask you this question. I tell most South Africans that I know, black, white, and brown, that most of y'all are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and don't even realize it. What about you guys and your family? Any of that? Are you guys okay? I mean, you having a hard...
we're okay.
Okay.
We're okay. We had quite a bit to adopt with the doors open and stuff, and I'll jump up if I hear something and stuff like that. But it's a raccoon or it's a gopher or something like that. It's nothing... or a cow or a buffalo or whatever. It's nothing dangerous.
so you got raccoons out there and cows. What about prairie dogs?
I haven't seen them, but there probably is. I've seen gopher also plenty in the fields where we cut the alfalfa.
Well, the prairie dogs are our meerkats. They're just not as cute and endearing as meerkats.
Yeah, well, I think there is definitely. I haven't seen them.
So on the farm you're at, what are they doing? Are they raising maize or soybeans or you said alfalfa? I heard that.
Corn and beans and then cattle.
Okay, cattle as well. What do they got? Herefords, Black Angus?
Angus, Black Angus.
Okay. Yeah, my favorite beef cattle is Charolais.
Okay.
And in America, that's not a particularly common, breed of cattle for beef cattle because we have lots of Herefords. That's a big one in Black Angus, but the Charolais aren't that big. But I always loved them because they're beautiful. I'd go to the fairs as in 4-H and show my animals and livestock. But when I went to the Rugby World Cup in France, I discovered where the heck all the Charolais.
Huh? I must go. Fix the fence, Colin, now.
Okay, we'll wrap it up here then. So sorry about that, Charl. Thanks a lot. Yeah. We'll chat again soon. Can you just give me 30 seconds or a minute? Any final message? Anybody? Tell them, about your, just very quickly. There's hope. You hang in there. It goes well. Just give people some words of encouragement before we wrap up.
Yeah, people mustn't shoot off America. It's a land of dreams where dreams come true. Honestly, I'm amazed at the place. It's an amazing country with amazing people, and the opportunities here are endless. If you work hard, you're going to get fired. But if you're not going to work hard, you won't get anywhere. That's just the main thing.
All right, Charl, that's great. Thanks a lot, Charl Kleinhaus. I'll let you drop off. Bye-bye, donkey, for your time. And I'll tell it for Professor G, and I'll tell you, ek praat nie Afrikaans nie, maar ek verstaan.
Bye-bye, donkey.
All right, cheers, Charl.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, folks, Charl Kleinhaus up there in South Dakota. Oops, he's going to get off there. Let me make sure he gets out. Okay. Put him, there he goes. He made it out. Okay, well, sorry about the quick end there, folks. That was kind of surprised, but he's got to go fix the fence. Like he said, you work in America. He's got to go work. So there you go. So I'm really grateful for that conversation because I learned an awful lot about Charl that I didn't know. All I had was what the BBC presented and a couple chats with him. And so we learned an awful lot more about him. That was pretty incredible. So thank you all for being here. Be sure to hit the like button if you don't mind. I've got to hit the road here shortly and head down to Washington, D.C. Now, I published a video, but I don't think I finished getting it online. No, it's not. So let me just, just a second here. Just a second. Hang on. Something's just wrong. Just a second there. What's going on here? My computer is not playing nice. There we go. I'll just put this up now. And I published a video here, big changes for the South African refugee program. So this video is going to go live here in just a minute. I didn't have time to do it because I was talking to Charl during that, and we had to work our cadence out between his Afrikaans and my English. So I just want to tell you that it's available here in a minute. Big updates from U.S. Embassy website today. And if you go watch this video, I'll summarize all of it. And also, it'll help you avoid panic because some people are going to panic. Do not panic. Do not resubmit your statement of interest. Do not freak out if you get a phone call from Kenya. I did a video on that last week and not a lot of people paying attention, but now I'm putting a video up. The thumbnail will change. I just got to get it out there now before I close up so you guys can go find it, and I'll go work on the thumbnail after this. So there you go. That video is up now, so check it out if you don't mind, and you'll learn a little bit more about what's happened today with the U.S. Embassy publishing an update to their website about this. I want to thank my guest, Charl Kleinhaus, for coming on. I really appreciate it, from Mpumalanga, now living in South Dakota, and obviously making a big switch. I hope you guys listen to the advice about the finance. Take that on credit cards, use them wisely, and build that credit score. Anyway, I apologize I didn't get to any of the chat, but we were engaged in the conversation, and time is short. I've got to run and get to D.C., which is at least a 2-hour drive if the traffic isn't bad. And then I got to go to an event tonight, and it's a 2-hour plus drive coming back. So it's going to be a long evening. I will do night owls tonight, but it should be on time, but I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. And for those who are curious, I will be seeing Ernst Rutz today in Washington, D.C. All right? But that's not the trip I was talking about. All right? Love the Boriki Working Hard interview. Yeah, that's what it was. So we could probably rename this, Working Hard in America. All right? Okay, cool beans. Yes, it does mean unbeliever. It's an Arabic word talking about people who don't believe in Islam. That's what the K word is. But it's been distorted and misused, and it's now treated in a different way. All right, folks, be sure to hit that like button if you haven't done it already. Thank you all so much for being here. I really do appreciate the support for the channel. And, hey, how about showing up not just when we do refugee interviews? Show up for some of the other stuff, too. Some of y'all notice we have about 1,400, 1,500 people in the stream. You guys are welcome to show up at any time, not just for the refugee conversations. Okay? All right. So there we go. Cheers. God bless and have a good day. Whoops, that didn't work out. Hang on a second. There we go. Now we got it. Have a good day.